Hello, everybody. On behalf of Lobby Observer, welcome back to another season of Full Court Press. I'm your host, AJ Tarzia, and I'm joined by
Max Dullea,
Simon Bleier,
Nick Bellofatto,
and Alex Desrosiers.
On Full Court Press, it's a show at WHS where we break down all things rec basketball. And without further ado, let's get into our preseason rankings.
All right.
Let's get first into it. So our 12th, so we have 12 teams this season. At the 12 ranking, hate to say it, Tremblay Rice, full of freshmen, a lot of question marks with this team. We don't really know what they have to bring.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was pretty consensus. I think pretty unanimous. Everyone agreed.
Yeah.
This is our 12th team.
This is the 12th team.
I mean, yeah, like you said, they don't really have too much. I mean, their first pick was Sean Levesque, so he's a good little player, has a nice shot. But other than that, I really don't see many people who can put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah. There's just not enough experience on this team. There's too many underclassmen, and I don't think they won't be able to keep up with bigger kids.
Yeah. There's not much to be said here. I mean, they're just the 12th team. I don't know anyone really. I don't know what to expect. A lot of young guys. I mean, I think we can all agree that they're
I also see that they lack like height. So they're
gonna
in the paint. If it's a bunch of freshmen, not a lot of height, they can easily just get.
It'll be a team to root for, though.
Yeah, I hope they have a fun season. I hope they have a lot of laughs.
This team definitely has one stud, I guess. Drew Chenoy, stud on defense. He's tall. He can jump. He might be able to dunk it this season. Maybe. Definitely look out for that.
Defensive player of the year.
Maybe if we're allowed to travel.
He's coming off Defensive Player of the Year campaign.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to need a lot of Tremblay and Rice. According to their little breakdown, they're some pretty good scorers, but I do think they lack height. Yeah. And in the 7th and 8th grade rec ball, it's not that big of a deal. When you come up to the big house at the high school, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
big dogs.
For sure.
With the big dogs, I see them struggling, but I'm definitely excited to see them play. So let's move on to 11. This was also an
also consensus.
division.
Also consensus.
Team Calderon.
Yep.
With their first pick.
Once again.
I think this might be the third year in a row.
I'd like to point out that I think taking, I love Jimmy Kaminsky. I think that might be one of the most egregious number one first round picks in the history of rec ball. I mean, I didn't understand it. I love Jimmy, but even he can attest to it.
I respect it though, because they wanted Jimmy coming out of that draft.
Yeah,
they might have taken him high, but they wanted Jimmy coming out.
They could have gotten him though.
I'm glad you guys brought this up because in my notes I said probably the most interesting selection of rec ball.
You got Emilio and Renzo Calderoni, the brother duo at the point guard.
Oh my God.
And plus they got Jordan Lassoff coming off too. Jordan's
no
always
doubt
at the
about
gym.
it.
He's 245 bench, 315 squat, just a straight gym rat. He wants it.
I don't know if that's gonna transfer to court, but we'll see. Another fun team.
They're all strong boys.
Lassoff is self-proclaimed the chosen one.
Oh wow!
He says he's the chosen one.
Yeah, he dropped 30 points in a scrimmage allegedly, coming from his perspective.
Okay.
But Will Lake is also a decent player. He might be a sneaky underclassman of the year candidate. So there's a couple good guys on this team.
I looked down this roster. I really think Will Lake's the only person who can dribble a basketball. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys are sleeping on
They're a team that you're just
has the skill to drop 25 on your team. You blink, and he's there.
I
don't know
disagree.
about that.
Football player.
They're a team.
I like the crazy. It's kind of wild.
They're a team where I just hope they have a fun season.
I cannot see this team putting up more than 25 points a game. Double team Jimmy Kaminsky, it's over. Make Emilio Calderoni to start shooting the ball from half court. It's over. It's over.
There's no doubt about this team. They're gonna have some fun. They're definitely gonna have some fun.
I agree with. I think Simon said it. That no one knows how to dribble basketball on this team.
Will Lake can dribble. Will Lake's a good player.
Will Lake can dribble. I mean, after that, it'll be fun to watch.
Calderoni somehow manages to coach a team every year and just doesn't literally live up to the expectations.
It's almost like they're trying to draft a bad team.
It's actually kind of depressing.
Great guy though. Great guy.
Yeah, no, love Mr. Calderoni.
So next, at the 10 spot, we have Snow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have some controversy on this one. This is our first pick that wasn't unanimous.
It was close though.
Yeah, we definitely fit him into the 10 slot. I think they're lacking their number one scorer.
Yeah.
All rec teams need their one clear-cut scorer that's going to go and be a 15-point scorer week in and week out, and I think they lack it. They have a few good role players, I think. Dare I say role players. This is definitely a preseason, so they can definitely up that to stars. But Ryan Snow, Camden Petralia, and Seabass Grillo are the three names that really stick out to me on this team.
Is Seabass still hurt?
No, he's going to be healthy.
He'll be good.
He'll be healthy.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
That's the more important
He plays
season,
great defense, so I see like a defensive presence there. You know, Ryan Snow's kind of tall kid.
Yeah.
Great shot blocker. Same with Camden. He's a very athletic kid coming off that great football season he just had. Being a running back, he's super athletic. I can see him getting to the hole, be able to finish. So that's why we kind of have this team at 10. Like, they kind of lack like a shooting presence. I don't really see anybody who can really like a knockdown shooter on this team.
Yeah.
So
you know, I really think it's going to come down to how well Maluk plays. Maluk, he was a JV basketball player last year. He has some talent. I think
he does.
He was picked a little later, but I feel like if he can kind of come into his own, I feel like this team could compete.
Yeah, being in the Westborough basketball system for like JV and his freshman year, like you learn a lot, like great coaches that we have at the school. So he's been training off season, he's been putting in a lot of work, and I feel like that he can like bring this over to the rec season and be able to dominate.
Yeah, the thing is for me, it's just if this team wants to be legit, Camden's got to step up. Camden's got to be the number one guy, and 100%. I can see that coming out of him. I mean, I saw him the last year. He took a lot of shots. Hopefully, those go in the basket this year. But you know, like you said, Simon, Maluk 100% is going to need to step up as well. Yeah. But yeah, I like this team. They have good energy. I mean, they're going to provide a lot of good energy. Seabass, I like in the defense. I think he's a sneaky defensive player of the year candidate.
I like that.
And this team will be interesting to watch.
I think the difference between this team and the other two teams we already picked is I think they do lack talent, but the difference is they have a lot of experience. Yep. You know, Ryan Snow, Cam, they've all been in the league for a few years. Seabass too. Like they're upper class built team. I think they lack talent, but I think they have potential. Yeah. Whereas the other two teams, I just haven't seen it. So I think they'll be an interesting team.
Anthony
to watch.
Rosser hit some shots too.
Anthony Rosser's good.
He's sneaky in the corner.
Good.
I caught up with Camden a few periods ago during school. He told me to watch out for Joshua Pardine. Oh. He wasn't sure who he was going into it, but he says he's, quote, he looks just like Vinny Ronquist. And if he's anything like Vinny, he's jacked, he's big, and I heard that he can put the ball in the hoop. So definitely somebody to look out for.
I'm not really familiar with his game, you know. I might have to
catch a couple games.
Might have to tap in.
See about that.
Okay. So next, moving up to number 9. Max, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
We have your team at number 9. Just take it away.
I completely disagree with this. My team, we have a good team. Me and Andrew are going to be a good duo. Luke Molesky, good shooter, good defender. Chris Dean is a lockdown defender. Yep. He will clamp up our best player. Kwao DePaula, very good, very athletic. We had our first practice. I was pleasantly surprised by him. Yep. We have a good freshman named Adrian who's very tall, and he'll get us some buckets. So, and Zach Lusik's a freshman.
Love Zach Lusick.
Big dude. He was hitting some hook shots in practice. So, you know, I'm just saying right now, it's egregious that the boys put him at number 9. I put our team pretty high up in the rankings. We're going to be competitive.
Might be a little biased there.
Yeah. Might be a little biased, but
I
you know.
respect it though. I respect it. You have confidence in your team.
Yeah, I'm also not going to come on here and put my team like.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Even if I believed it, but I don't. I think we're going to be a really good team. I think we're a team to watch out for sure.
No, I'm actually going to agree with Max a little bit here. You know, Team Lombardo, a lot of experience, obviously coming off of a championship.
With an asterisk next to it, but mind you.
An asterisk? Okay.
Yeah, but
we can.
I completely disagree with all you guys.
No,
just wait.
I have something to say.
That's what I do too.
I have something to say.
In my notes, I said Max Dullea has got to carry this team. I feel like that's really what it's going to come down to. But I feel like they do have some good defenders, Kawe and Chris, as you mentioned. Yep. Also, although I wonder how this team's going to mesh. We've got a lot of personalities on this team.
I was about to say, definitely. I couldn't disagree more with this take.
Portion, Christine, Kawe, Max, some personalities. So we'll see how they figure that out.
The guards, not going to mix well at all together. I'm just going to say that backcourt is not going to be a sight to see. You know, Max and Corshane, those are ball-dominant players.
Definitely.
And someone's not going to have the ball in their hands, and someone's going to be upset.
Yep.
Max, you'll be a star, but you're going to take a lot of shots. Definitely. And Corshane's not going to be too happy about that. So I mean,
if they're going in, I mean.
Yeah, there we go.
He's already saying it. I just
if these shots are going in.
Don't think the chemistry will be there in the backcourt. You guys are a little small.
Yeah,
and
that's
what
that was what I was going to say. Like, any single team that you guys go against, I feel like they're going to dominate you guys in the paint. Like, we don't really have any bigs on your team besides Rowan and Luke Molesky, who, let's say if against a matchup, Kawe, but let's say if you guys match up against Hackett Hadley, right? I just see them just putting up 30 points in the paint.
They're giving him the work.
Every single night. You know, if you guys can't get that offensive presence there with the threes going and, like, being able to facilitate on offense, I feel like that you guys will get beat every single time in the paint. So that's just my take on it. I feel like you guys have a strong team. I feel like the chemistry could be a little bit better, be able to share the ball a little more. But I just don't see you guys being able to beat the bigger teams in the league.
Couldn't disagree more. Also, I will shout out Rowan Anderson, also a very good player who I didn't mention.
There's some height there. Actually, they do have a little bit of height.
And we have experience.
There might not be enough basketball experience on this team, quite frankly.
I think
really?
Chris Dean was actually the freshman manager.
Yeah,
we also have six seniors on our team who either played school basketball or have played rec for more than 2 years. So I don't understand. I'm just saying, we'll settle this on the court.
What's your favorite team, Max?
We'll settle this on the court. My favorite team. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
that later.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I think you guys talked about the height. Rowan and Luke, they don't have much on them.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. They really don't.
They don't have much on
I'm not
really
trying to diss any of them, but Luke.
As soon as one of them goes up in the post against somebody, they're gonna back down.
Yeah,
I can tell
exactly.
you that, man.
I think we should move on to the next one.
We've
We've
been on this for a while.
Number 8, we got Breen Tesoro.
Yep.
Led by Timmy Breen, Will Breen, his brother. Both very tall, and they can definitely ruin the league. If they get in the paint and they get it.
I think you should let Alec talk
Okay.
first on this one.
I'm riding Breen to Tesoro top 5 this year. I'm the only. I had him at 5. Yeah. I had him at 4 actually.
I'm at 6.
Yeah. I'm riding this team out all year. You know, you got Timmy Breen, great golf player, right?
Oh,
what does
we're playing
golf take?
basketball, but
I know.
nah.
What does golf take? Fundamentals, right? Timmy Breen is a fundamental center. I feel like that he can get his points regardless in the paint, having great footwork, alongside with his brother, Will Breen, who's an actual menace. He's huge, right? They both go to St. John's. We really don't see him a lot around here, but in the summer camp, right, I coached Will. He's a great kid, great player. He tries really, really hard. So I feel like that he will have that great presence on his team that will give him.
I just want to add on top of that. So this team full of dogs.
That's what I
Full of dogs. We got the Breens, dogs.
We got
Dan Tesoro, dogs.
We got
Freebergs,
dogs. They're all dogs.
Esther, he's skilled.
Not
really
as
a
much
dog.
as
Esther is a skilled basketball player. He has a good jumper.
I can
But
see this
is
team.
a team I want to root for.
Well,
I want to see them
you
play
mentioned a
every
team
week.
with personality. I don't think you get more personality.
No, 100%.
That's the take. That's
you
a good
have
take.
Ben, aka Freaky Freeberg. You have his brother.
Little freaky.
You have his brother who shout out to him. He actually was the PA announcer at the basketball game the other night.
Did a phenomenal job.
You have Estefan, who's a good player. And then, of course, you have my boy Tim Breen and Dan Tesoro. As we said, they'll be good for sure. So
Hey, Max, I can see this team getting at least 2 technical fouls a game.
100%.
100%.
I mean,
The presence,
100%.
Alex and Ben Friedberg, right? I see combining Draymond Green. I
he's
compare
Draymond.
Ben Friedberg to Draymond Green.
Ben Friedberg is
He's either
Draymond Green,
fouling
yes.
out or getting ejected every single game.
Or he's
But
putting
he
someone
will
in a
be there.
headlock.
He'll be playing
Yes.
defense, the hardest
Yes.
defense he can play. And same with Alex Friedberg. He likes to talk. He likes to talk. He's gonna get in people's ears, right?
Yeah.
I can see him picking up.
100%.
I can see him picking up 2 technical fouls
got
a
him.
game just by talking.
we got him week 1. I mean, it's going to be a good game.
I have a
It's gonna be
question
really
though
good
for you
game.
guys. Again, who do you think's bringing the ball up? You think Tim's bringing it up?
Tim's definitely.
So
Tim
I was
is
on,
gonna wanna
so
bring
I'll
the
say
ball.
I was on.
I'm
Tim is
saying
gonna wanna bring
I'm
the
saying a
ball.
little Dan Tesoro
if
bringing
we're
the ball
Nagy,
up.
if we're Nagy, right?
Right.
Nagy obviously known for their 1-3-1. Do you think they're breaking a 1-3-1?
Sleeper.
This team is
yeah.
breaking
You can't
Don't get
forget.
me wrong. This team is full of dogs, as we said. They're gonna rebound.
They got Ian Campbell too.
Yeah, I was going to say
Ian
sleeper
Campbell's a-
player. Ian Campbell's pretty good.
He's a sleeper player, right? I see him at the gym all the time. Dog, he's strong. he squats 315 or something like that. Dog, he's gonna bring up the ball. He's gonna be able to break that press, whatever they throw at them.
You think so?
100%.
There you go.
100%. You also got Alex Friedberg. Can't forget Alex Friedberg.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get ejected, if he doesn't foul out, I feel like that he can have a good shooting games. I feel like he can bring up the ball. And he got Timmy Breen, Will Breen. Just throw it up there. They'll get it.
I mean,
They'll get it.
I don't think we've ever had this in rec where 2 brothers every game have a chance to get ejected. 2 brothers.
All
All
right.
right, off to the next
Let's
one.
not-
I'm just saying.
I 100% agree with that take.
Let's not.
I
Let's
agree
not
with
give
it.
the dogs
Yeah.
a treat. Let's not give them a
go to the
treat.
Put the dogs back in their cage.
Yeah, let's get them back. All right, let's move on to 7. Martin Bentley.
I think this
Break
is
it
too
down.
high. This is
Yeah,
too high.
I'm agree with that.
I think this is too high.
Item low.
I think they're really small. I mean, and that's what their problem is. I mean, Ryan, he's like their tallest player, and he's not really a big. I mean, he's tall, but he's kind of slim. But Mikey Koo, he's gonna be tough. He will be a good player in this league.
Yeah.
So Jared Silverman,
Yeah.
also a bucket.
Jason.
You guys
Sneaky
are gonna
bucket.
see.
Sneaky
100%.
bucket.
JV player, I've seen him play. He's a bucket, but there's just I don't think there's
mean,
not enough guys on this.
Jared, you won't really catch him, and then he'll go tween, crawl it behind the back, step back, in your face, hit a celly. and then lose the ball the next play. But
And
Jared,
then
he's
he'll
a
be
good
right
player.
back in your face, trash talking you.
Although I do worry about Mikey. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he's ready to take that big step because I mean he's been on.
He's got to be the number one. He's got to be the number
He's
one.
got to
guy.
be the number one.
He's got to be the number one guy.
If he can figure it out, if he can drop 15 to 20 a game, I think this team has some potential.
Yeah. Going back to
I don't know.
Jared,
We'll
going back to Jared, I will see him make 4 pro moves in a row, right? I will see him be a great point guard, get his buckets whenever he wants.
Gets to his spots.
Gets to his spots, right? Celebrates after every single day. But sometimes I see him like he's never played basketball before.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's either 100% or 0%. He has the chance to average 20 points a game, but he also has the chance to average 4 points a game and just like 7 turnovers.
One thing
And
I'll
that's what
say
we love
about
about rec ball. That's truly what we love about rec ball.
the only thing I'm going to say about this team is this might be the skinniest rec ball team in the history of
That's what I'm
rec
saying.
ball.
They're not big enough. I
not
just don't
big.
think they're
That's
This
big
what
might
I'm
be
forgetting
the
about.
skinniest.
You can't forget
Like the
Arian
average weight
Bhatia.
might be 90
Cannot
pounds.
forget Arian
I don't know if you guys
Bhatia.
are
Arian
Great
Bhatia.
He's a great kicker. He's always in the gym. He's big. He's got strong legs. You know, he'll be able to boot the ball from the 40-yard line every single time. You got to have some skill.
You know.
I'll get that to Arian.
Shout out to Shri Navaduri, my guy. He's pretty tall. He gets some rebounds. He'll get some buckets. So I think this is a mediocre 7-8 spot team.
I think we're forgetting about Max Martin. Dude is huge.
Big kid.
Is he a basketball player
big
though?
kid.
massive.
I don't know
big
if
kid.
he a basketball player.
He's been in the rec scene for a few years. He's getting better every year.
Yeah.
He is huge. There's no debating.
Okay.
And in rec ball, that pays dividends.
Yeah.
Moving on to 6, we got team last, led by Joel Lee this year. What do we think?
I think there's a stigma against team last where like you hear the name and you automatically associate to like last place. Yeah, last place. That being said, I think this is the best team they've ever had. On paper, they got Joel Lee, they got Addison, who's better. Miguel's pretty good, but I mean, I still put them 9.
Yeah,
but that is the best they've ever been.
I had them pretty low. I have 3. I really don't. I mean, Joel Lee. I think Joel Lee could possibly be the best player in the league. I think he's
Really?
the most skilled player in the league, and if he can build on what he did last year, I think this team can be scary. But I feel like this team is only going to go as far as Joel takes them.
So, just to add on that, Joel will be elite. Joel's probably the best player in this league. It's whether if you like live up to the expectations, I guess. But as of now, I think he's the best player in this league.
Definitely.
And I just don't think it'll be enough though.
It won't be enough.
It won't be enough. I don't think for them to take a far run. You know, someone else has to do other things. And I just think that.
I actually have this team at 3.
That's
You know,
great.
you guys
That's
might think this is a little
ridiculous.
hot
We
take.
had enough.
Yeah,
We had
might be a little
I
hot
want to
take.
hear what this.
Yeah, but it's a team sport.
If you
It's a
really
team
look into
sport.
the depth,
Sell it to
if
me,
you
sell
really
it to
look
me.
at the depth of the team, right? Their chemistry is good. They're all friends with each other, right? And someone a sleeper pick is Zane. Zane is a good player, you know.
Zane is a good player.
For the high school team, right? He tried out all this summer with us. He came to Thursday runs. He's a very skilled player, right? He's a great point guard. He can dribble. He can shoot. He can do what most point guards do, right? And getting him in like later in the rounds, that was a steal, right? Him and Joel, where Zane can be able to facilitate the ball to Joel and Joel get the ball, because you know most games that they're gonna face guard Joel because obviously he's the best player on the team, right? They're gonna try to take away his buckets, right? And be able to Zane to have that, like, be able to be that point guard and be able to facilitate the ball and get his own shots and plus pass it to Joel. I feel like that chemistry connection will be a great addition to their team this year, and I feel like that they'll go far in this league. I know you guys don't agree with me at all because like you guys see the team, you guys don't think they have like that dog in them, right? So I think that they can go far in this league.
I do think that the Last brothers, they are dogs, Alex.
No, 100%.
Addison Last, Eric Last, they're menacing.
They're like the Freebergs.
They will ruin your game.
Exactly, the great defensive presence is there.
Although again, I just worry about their scoring.
Yeah,
outside.
there's not enough basketball.
I don't think they have enough scoring for them to be the 3 seed, unless obviously Joel's putting up 30.
With any
35
good
a
team,
game.
with any good team, you have to account for games where your star player is not going to play well. And if Joel's not playing well, they're screwed. They're cooked.
No.
They'll score 10 points. It'll be a disaster. So.
All right, let's move on to the top 5. I think all these teams are interchangeable. It's really who shows up. But at the 5 spot, we have Team Meyer. Led by Lee Imran, Owen Fiedler, and dare I say Jack Ferecchia. A little bit of a star on the defensive side. But more importantly, Hemanth is on this team.
That is true.
Hemanth will wreak havoc. He will make your game terrible.
He might have
He will
trouble
throw
keeping
you
them
off.
on the court.
Yeah,
He will have
he
a
might.
lot of fouls.
He was on my team last year. He was on my team last year. He didn't make it through a single game.
Although
But literally, he didn't make it through a
I'm
single
gonna be
game.
honest, Hemanth has been looking better. He's been hitting layups. I'm not gonna lie. He's been hitting layups.
I know, but it's different on the court. He's gonna be energized. He's gonna
True.
like, I don't know, man.
Coming off football,
Yeah.
he's all like
Big
ready to
football
go,
player.
ready to hit somebody.
You mentioned
That's really
Draymond
just-
Green earlier. There's no player compared to Draymond Green other
More
than
than-
he. More than
disagree.
he, man.
Ben Friedberg.
No, I give the Draymond
Whoa.
Green
I
award
think
to
he's more of a
He-Man.
Zaza Pachulia.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Zaza.
And I feel like the connection between He-Man and Arnov. Oh my god.
Oh my God! Can I shout out Arnov
Oh
for
yeah,
a
I'll
second?
let you get
Can
the
I shout out
small. Yeah,
Arnov
I'll
for a
get you
second?
get the small right there.
I coached Arnov in summer camp this year, and I didn't really expect a lot. He was a late round pick, but oh my God,
He lets that fly.
lets it
He
fly.
lets it
Does
fly.
not miss. Arnov is gonna be a sneaky dog in this league. He's gonna get a couple threes a game.
Candidate for underclassman of the year.
I don't
say
hate
it.
that
As
take.
a freshman,
I don't
I
hate that take.
really
He's a
like
freshman.
that.
Is he a
take.
freshman?
I do.
Hot
I'm a
take.
big fan of Arnov.
I do.
Great kid. Great kid.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him.
Hey, I mean, this team, Will Edinburgh, great player.
Yeah, he's a good
solid,
player. He's a good player.
fundamental. I mean, Jack on the defensive end. Can't forget Owen. Owen's a scorer.
They have a good basketball
This
background
team is
with the lead
straight
Owen.
locks.
This
This
is
team is a straight
This is just
lock
a
up.
very solid team.
I can
could
see them
finishing
holding
at the top.
teams under 45 points a game,
Yeah.
35 points a game. You know, you got Ali Imran, right? Great defender. He's super athletic, runs track. He's absolutely jacked, right? I see him guarding every single team's best player and not letting him get over 10 points a game.
Solid overall team.
There's a lot of athleticism on this team, and I like that a lot for a rec squad. You know, Ali, he's obviously a good track player. Owen, he has a good basketball background. Jack Varecki, a great soccer player. Edinburgh's a good baseball player. So I just think this team has a really good background for just other sports, and I think that's what's going to help them in this league.
Definitely.
Yeah, as I said earlier, all these teams are interchangeable, but let's get into 4. This is where it got really difficult.
Yeah.
But in the 4 spot, we put Cespedes,
Yeah.
led by Julian and Rahul, coming off an MVP season. It'll be interesting to see what this duo can do. They really clicked last year, which was really surprising to a lot of people, but it didn't really surprise me. I've played with Julian and Rahul for multiple years on the B team, and Rahul can definitely score, and Julian, I don't know how to say it, he's an absolute dog. Like, but this league is full of dogs. It's going to be one game a season. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Julian is a dog. He'll fight you for the rebound. He'll box you out. And in rec ball, it's very rare. He'll box you out, knock you on your butt, and he won't like look back.
Same with
He'll do it the
Ivan
next
Diaz.
play.
Same with Ivan Diaz. You know, he plays football. He's a lineman. He's huge, right? He will be in the paint blocking every single shot. I feel like that he will have that defense that team needs to be able to succeed.
I
right?
mean, this team it's good top to bottom.
Yeah.
Player I want to shout out, AJ Tarzia. First year in rec ball. The kid can play.
Yeah, he's a good
I'm
player.
not going to lie.
He can.
He can play.
He's going to be an
I
all-star
love to
this
see that he
season.
came back from
He's going to be an all-star.
basketball.
He's going to be an all-star. I think he's going to be a top 10 player. And I think this team, Cespedes, has 2 top 10 players, Rahul and Ayush. And then Julian's right on the cuffs there. And then you can't forget Luis Urbina, great shooter. You got Adam Muhammad, great little player. This team's going to be good.
So you're putting Ayush in the top 10.
I'm putting Ayush in
Really?
the top 10. 100%.
Real 100%. Okay.
100%.
I like this team. I think the only thing is I actually think they lack a little depth. I think
Yeah.
outside of
Yes.
I think Julian and Rahul are, you know, as AJ said, we played with them on the B team for years. They were unbelievable. Ayush is really good as well. Outside of that though, I feel like you know, again, when I said back to team last, like if Joel goes cold, what if Julian and Rahul are having a bad game? You know, I
think Ayush picks it up, I'm going to be honest.
I'm going to be honest. I love this team.
Yeah.
All right?
I
I actually love this team. Rahul reigning MVP as a junior, not something a lot of people can say. He's a scorer. He's an elite talent in this league. Julian is probably the best big man in this league right now. He's going to get rebounds over everyone. And then Luis Urbina, I'm not sure if we mentioned him yet, but he's a shooter. He's going to be a solid player. And Ayush, obviously, I also agree with Simon here. He's going to be a good player. But I think this team is going to mix really well. I think this is going to be a sneaky championship contender.
Definitely.
And the team only can do so much. It's the coaching. And Mr. Cespedes, if you don't
Great
know him,
coach.
he's a great
Great
coach,
coach.
great guy. If he does what he does last year, after every week he'll send in power rankings based on like his little spreadsheet, and it's really he helps us out a lot. So thank you, Mr. Cespedes, and you definitely get your flowers. You're a great coach, and you definitely make a team. Even if you're not as good, you can bring them back. You can rally a team like that, and I think that's a big deal in rec ball. But number 3, although I don't agree, it's my team. I'll take the number 3 spot. My first year drafting ever. I'll take it. It's me and Andy C. And I think I got the steal of the draft with Mauricio Fonte, JV starter.
100%.
He's probably 5'10", 5'11", can hop. He has bunnies, and I definitely think steal the draft, and I can't be more excited.
Yeah, you got to steal Mauricio. To get him in the third round, that was wild. I mean, I've seen Mauricio, so I guess I'm a little biased. I've seen him for 2 years now. He was a great player in JV. I think if he didn't get hurt, he had a chance to play varsity basketball this year. Yeah. And he's just going to be insane. He's extremely athletic. He's super fast. He knows the game. Only thing is, you guys are really small. And I think that's the only thing that's
Let me address this. So, you're so small. Me and Andy, combined height of 5 feet, whatever you want to say. We've had a lot of talk from the media. But then we went in and took Nate Schmidt. Absolute dog. Yep. Played for Nagy last year. I heard great things. Yeah. We go into the draft. He's our guy. Yeah. He's our underclassman. He's the guy that we want. And he's going to play as our big. So Nagy's 1-3-1. I brought him in. I played against it last year. I loved it. And I wanted to be a part of it. So I had to do some sweet talk. I had to get Mr. Nagy in on this. So now he's coaching with my dad. I'm very excited to play this 1-3-1. Yeah. Very excited.
I mean, I remember when the draft was going down, we were in a little group chat. I hear you got like Mauricio. I'm like, third round? I'm like, okay, that's a steal. Yeah. And I'm like, so you got like no height. Do you have a big? He says Nate Schmidt. It's over. This is my number 1 team. I think those 4 players, I think they're amazing.
Can I just say?
I think AJ, Andy, and Mauricio can play the 1 through 3. I think they're great players. I think you're a great player. They move the ball well, take smart shots, play good defense. This team's my best.
Andy's probably the most entertaining player in the league. He will celly over anything. Yep. It is the most entertaining thing you'll see on the basketball court. He's going to provide energy and toughness to the group. AJ, you're going to have to step up as the number 1 guy. I believe you can, but you are going to have to be that number 1 guy for this team. Mm-hmm.
Can I just say? Sorry.
No, you got it.
I don't like this team.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No.
I don't like this team.
When do we play you, Max? When do we play you?
We don't play you, I don't think. I wish we did though. I wish we did though because we'd win. Because look.
Yeah, okay.
AJ and Andy.
Quay's gonna lock me up.
It's an okay duo. It's fine. AJ's a good player. It's an okay duo overall. I think AJ's gonna be the best player on this team. Mauricio's good. I'll give him that. Nate Schmidt, and then after that, I mean.
Put some respect on James Berry.
I was gonna say,
put some respect on James Berry. You know,
I was just about to do
track
this.
star, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say
track.
this.
You know,
James Berry.
He's a great football player too. I can see him. He's a late round pick. I see him as a sleeper pick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, James Berry. A little bit of a question mark. He's a great player. Obviously has some
off the court issues. I was gonna say, is he even gonna be?
Issues,
he's gonna get destroyed in these games. I'm just saying, like.
But I feel like this team does have a little bit.
They will try to get in his head.
Logan Bramley.
How can you not?
Good athlete.
Let me talk about my
Avi,
team.
good athlete. Nebom, good athlete. This team can play, especially in that 1-3-1. They're gonna be great.
I can see this team being like the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, it's a young team. I like to say young team, underclassmen, right? I like this, like, you know,
what do you
in
mean
the NBA, like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like that's your AJ Tarzia.
James Berry, just kidding.
Yeah, like that. I can see Lou Dort as like Mauricio Fonte. You know, he does everything, right? He plays defense, gets points on the
Josh
team like a nice
Giddey,
team.
James Berry comparison.
All right.
Move on.
I went to this draft looking for the soccer team, and I think I found him. I know every single player on this team outside of Ryan Wheeler, who I met at lunch, and he's always wearing his biggies.
He's good.
He's wearing his basketball hoodie. I felt like he could hoop, and I took him, and I could be more excited for my team.
He worked at the same summer camp as me. We had a basketball game, and he was pretty good. I will say that. But otherwise, I don't really like this team. Final word on this team. I don't really like it.
All right, let's see if there's a team you do like.
I kind of agree with you, Max. I do.
Hilfinger, Wawrzyk at number 2. The top 3 I think is interchangeable based on the coaching.
This is my championship team, and I'll tell you why right here. So basically, Hilfinger and Wawrzyk are 2 MVP candidates on one team.
I agree with that.
They are elite. I mean, they both have basketball experience. You know, I think that they both kept with it. Might have been varsity athletes for sure. I mean, they're both great track runners, cross country runners. So with the competitive basketball experience, and also Brady Robinson, like him. Will Cormier, freshman, he's big. I like him.
Good,
Jack Biddle, I like him too. Sawyer Kittredge. Not a great basketball player, but can't help but root for the kid. Can't help but root for the kid. And then Will McCullough, also pretty decent big. With that being said, this is my championship team. They have good role players around their 2 stars.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with him. This team has a lot of bigs, right? If we look at the number 1 team, which we'll get to, right? I feel like this team will have the defense that they will need to be able to go far. You know, Eli Wawrzyk, very athletic point guard, right?
He's going to lock up.
He's going to lock up anybody, right? David Hilfinger, right? He's in my gym class. I see him dunk every single class with ease, right?
Does he really?
100%.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah, he's dunking.
I interviewed him the other day for journalism, and he says he runs a 4:30 mile. right? Having that athletic kid and be able to have that stamina, he can play the whole game, 100%, right? Wow. And if you look at him, right, he's a very tall kid. Coming down the court, I can see him just getting dunks, straight dunks on fast breaks. I see him getting straight dunks. I can see the energy on this team through the roof.
Can I just say?
I want to see him punch one. Bro.
Yeah,
I love
crazy bounce. we were testing each other's verticals in gym class. He had over 30-inch vertical.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. He did. He can jump.
And he's like 6'3".
He has a long wingspan too. I can see him deflecting passes, getting shot blocks, and I see him elling to Eli for easy buckets.
Seems like you really like
just
David.
prove my point even more.
I do
Sounds like
this
he's
team.
your guy.
I will say I love everything about this team. I think this is one of the two teams. This is one of the two teams where there's just not a single hole on this team. I mean, you got depth. You got big men. I mean, Eli sneaky. He can play the big men.
Is this your number one?
It's my number 2, but I could easily. I feel like it's interchangeable for me. I think this is one of the two teams. I think there's just not a single hole, and only them are gonna. I mean, they're the only ones who can beat themselves.
I mean,
they'll go as far as they want to go.
It's the best duo in the league.
Oh, 100%.
Waters and Hilfiger. That's all.
But they're both ball-dominant players.
I
some
would argue
issues.
that they aren't.
I don't think they are.
I would argue that Eli is very good.
I
at
think
playing off
both.
the
I
ball.
actually think both can play off the ball.
I agree.
Because we used to play with them in travel, and they both were very effective when not running the floor.
I agree.
So I think this is a very.
I mean, Jack Biddle too, right?
Yeah.
Is he a freshman or sophomore?
Sophomore. Yeah.
He's
a very tall kid too.
Yeah.
Right?
Athletic.
Yeah. Same with Will Cormier. We had him in summer camp.
coached him.
Right. If you want to talk more about him, he's a great kid. He's a dog.
I love the kid.
He has
He's a great kid.
Has heart. So I can see the young guys getting some action in the games too, be able to make an impact on their team.
Definitely.
Time to go.
All right. Now the moment we've all been waiting for. Number 1.
Hackett Hadley.
Yes.
This team has everything. Height, speed, experience, physicality, team full of football players, and then they just go top to bottom. Every single name on this list, you think they can play great, and they have like their game.
Somehow sneak Thomas Cashman in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
So
how did he
this
fall
team,
to the
I will
3rd
say,
round?
they're the best team. I think the difference between them and Hilfiger is they have a little more depth than them. I mean, shout out to Connor McDermott, big guy. He'll get some rebounds. He'll do good. Joe Furbish is a good player. Jackson Kelly's a decent player. Connor McCarthy is a decent player. Like this team, I mean, talk about no holes, but then they also just have unlimited amount of depth that can, to keep, if Daniel or Luke or T-Cash get tired, you got guys that can just come right in and get buckets and play good defense.
So I feel like in this team, the Hilfiger Walrasick and the Hackett Hadley, they're so interchangeable, like you said, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that Hilfiger Walrasick has an advantage on the guard standpoint, right? Obviously, Hackett Hadley has some giants. Thomas Cashman standing at like 6'3". I don't know how tall Luke Hadley is. Probably 6'5", right? And you had Hack, right? He's probably 6 feet, around 6 feet. He's super aggressive, right? I feel like that this team kind of lacks on be able to facilitate. I also I like the team with Hackett and Hadley, both football players, great chemistry. I feel like that they will be able to make a presence this year.
Yeah, I mean, I had them at my 2, and for one reason. They cannot shoot.
Yeah.
I'm looking down this roster.
There's an elephant in the room here.
I'm looking for someone. No one can shoot.
Literally
not one person. And listen, it comes down to this. If one team goes out, hits 10 threes, that means they got to score 15 buckets.
I would not be surprised if every team runs a 2-3 against this team.
Yeah.
Because they're big.
The only thing, Simon, I will say is I may be wrong, but I think Joe Furbish is a decent shooter. Okay. I may be wrong though, and I also think T-Cash can also stretch the floor. He's not a great shooter, but I think he's a capable 3-point
Don't
shooter.
let Connor McDermott get hot.
And also there's a question.
Connor
who's
will
bringing up
hit
the
like
ball
6
for this
threes a
team?
game.
Who's bringing up the ball?
Hackett.
I mean,
You want Hackett bring it up?
since they're the number 1 team, I feel like we should go more in depth. So, who do you think will be the starting 5? I mean, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center.
Hackett. I
Hackett
think
at the
Hackett
one?
will run the
Hackett at
floor.
the one?
Yeah, Hackett
Yeah,
on the floor.
100%.
You got Hadley at center. T-Cash probably at the 4.
Yeah, Furbish
I say
at the-
Connor McDermott at the 2.
And then Furbish at 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, whoever is picking the ball does not matter. Hackett is going to get the rebound and run. He is going to grab the
see a lot of
rebound and run the
cherry
fast
I'm
break.
telling you.
He will not lead the league in assists.
Although what I worry about, so Hackett, amazing player, great at running the floor. I think he's better when he's getting that pass down.
Sure.
I can see that.
I don't know if he's the type of player to grab it, get the rebound.
I
and
will
push
say
it
though,
all the
Luke
way.
Hadley was doing one-handed full court passes last year. So I mean, if he's doing that
Hey,
again,
if he can do that
and
this
Daniel-
time,
and Daniel, I mean, let's be real. I mean, he does cherry pick sometimes. So if Daniel's cherry picking, I mean,
listen,
that's
if
a lot of
they
points.
can
That's
get
a
that
lot of
down,
points.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they can figure that out.
He can get at least 20 fast break
Yeah,
points a game. and
because
it can be
Hackett
over.
really relies off of someone else facilitating for him, right?
Sure.
And he loves the cherry pick. He loves
He
it.
loves the
He
cherry
loves
pick.
sitting
I'm
at
just
half
saying.
court getting that wide open
Yeah.
lane. There's nothing wrong about
No,
it.
no.
You just play smart, right? And if you have Hadley, right, getting the ball at the ball at the hoop off his big rebound, and you have him stretching the floor, him throwing a dot down the court, him getting an and-one layup, right? I feel like that's unstoppable.
I mean, they're so big that they could honestly probably get away with doing like a 4-on-5 on defense, and having Daniel just being like at the other free throw line, just throw the pass. Because Luke will just get a steal because he's so tall. You know, like.
We're running a little bit short on studio time here, so let's move over to our MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Underclassman of the Year, and a few of us have our Coach of the Year. So Alec, you want to kick it off?
Let's go down.
Yeah, let's just go down.
MVP.
We'll go MVP first.
So my MVP is Eli Walrus. You know, I said a lot about their team. He's gonna be a great player this year. I feel like he can go really far. My or do you want to say your MVP? Okay.
We'll just go through. We've talked a lot about them.
Yeah.
My MVP is Joe Lee. Joe Lee is going to be the most dominant player in rec this year. He's the most skilled. If he didn't get surgery on his chest in his sophomore year, he's a varsity athlete, and he's going to get probably good minutes on the varsity team too. Yep. So I just think if he just gets the ball in his hands, it's over. Yep. He's dropping 25 a game.
I got David Hilfinger here. He's tall, lengthy, can jump over kids, shoot over anybody, and I saw it last year, and I think he's going to be scary. Him and Eli definitely together. They might have to be campaigning against each other on the same team, which I don't think we've ever seen before in rec ball history.
You know, I like all those takes, but I got a different one. I got Daniel Hackett.
Okay.
I think like what we just discussed, I think if they can master that fast break, I think he's going to
Game over.
At least 20 a game.
But are we really going to give the MVP to somebody that cherry picks and gets
I don't
these
think
layups?
he just
Well,
cherry
let's-
picks.
let's see what he does.
He knows the game.
He knows the game.
And
He's
plus,
a smart player.
he
He's
can
not
draw
just gonna be-
fouls.
Yeah.
He can shoot free throws too.
He's not just going to be sitting at one
Yeah,
end.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. My MVP, AJ stole my pick here, David Hilfinger. You know, great guy, one of my favorites, but you know, just also a great player.
So you're telling me they got 2 MVP candidates?
They got
and
two
they're not your
MVP
number one team?
They have 2
I'm
legitimate
sorry.
MVP candidates in this league, which
They're number one.
is rare.
All right, Max, give me your deploy.
My deploy, shout out to my guy on my team, Lombardo, Christine. He was clamping me up in rec practice the other day, so I feel like, you know, and you know what, he's a great player, very fast, athletic. He's going to be locking the best player up on the other teams because I am not a good defender.
Yeah, that's real humble of you, Max. You know, he's your decoy because he can lock you up. But
I mean, I'm
That's a
just
little
saying.
interesting.
I'm just
the
saying.
most biased person in the world. 100%.
that's interesting.
All right,
We'll settle it on the court,
So
but I'm just saying. You know,
my
like,
defensive player of the year is another soccer player, Drew Chenoy. Obviously, last year we talked about it. Definitely a candidate.
He's a candidate, yeah.
This year, I think he's just going to take that other step forward. So
yeah,
how's that?
Simon, you took it right out of my. It's like you read off my computer. I had Drew as well. Very athletic player, great soccer player, and he takes pride in his defense.
Yep.
He told me that he's coming for the deploy this year. He compares himself to Russell Westbrook, and I definitely think that he's gonna have to step up if this Tremblay team is gonna be something serious.
I have to say something really quick, right? I 100% disagree with you guys, and I'll get to a reason why. But I played Drew one-on-one in gym class, and man, that boy is a hack. I think we were playing 50% speed. I know he was going 100%, 100 like by far, right? Every single time I had a layup, I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna slap. I feel like that his defensive presence on the team will lead to him having more fouls and him not being taken out of
He's
the
already
game.
proven to be a defensive
I know,
talent, though.
but he
Alex,
was
it's
top
the
3
culture
last
of
year.
rec
He-
ball.
he
Rec
gotta-
ball's a
he
different
gotta
game.
work on
Rec
his
ball's a
balance.
different game. They don't call a
I
lot
can see
of
him
rec.
getting a couple flagrants this season. I can see him jumping
know.
out.
Alec.
Don't get me wrong, Drew's a great kid, great player, very athletic, right? He can jump 33-inch vertical. Saw it in gym class, right?
33.
He can jump. He can get blocks, right? I think he just will have to work on not being able to foul.
So who's your decoy?
My defensive player of the year is Ali Imran,
Okay.
right?
Like
I
that.
feel like
That's good too.
I like having everybody else having a different take than me, but you know, Ali was on varsity last year. Great practice player. He really wants it. He has
A
heart.
little disrespectful.
No, he did great in practice, right? He was always trying super hard, right? He was always getting the best player on every single team. He was guarding up. You know, he has a long wingspan. Very, very fast kid. Does track. Very strong. I can just see him being defensive player.
So I got a hot take incoming.
Okay, I like it.
Give me Seabass Gorilla.
Okay,
Give me Seabass Gorilla.
all right.
And I'll tell you why.
No, no, I respect it. I
I'll
respect it.
tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, one minute.
This is a beautiful storyline. We got coming off the brutal foot injury. He's going to be eager to get back on the court again. He's a competitor. He's going to play sports in college, whether it's football, track, both. He's an athlete.
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
I played with him at BSC, and I gotta say, he's an enforcer in the paint. I had my troubles getting in the paint and scoring on him, and like he was elite. I wasn't expecting him, a player that doesn't play basketball, to be that good in the paint.
You weren't familiar with this game.
I was not familiar with his game.
He can shoot too.
He will dominate on the boards. He's gonna get blocks, and if he stays off the fouls, That's my depoy.
I like that pick.
100%,
I like
yeah.
that pick.
All right, Max, back to you. Coach of the year.
Oh, Coach Hackett. That's my guy. Coach Hackett.
not even your own coach. There it is.
All right. That's my guy. No, I was trying not to be biased, so I'm saying that's my guy, Coach Hackett.
I'm going to just go Coach Nagy. He's been around. I think he has got a great team, fits his scheme.
He's that dude. He's been that dude.
Yep.
I saw him last year, had to bring him back. Obviously, Coach Nagy, my coach of the year.
I'm going to go with Max on this one, Hackett.
Yeah.
Hackett, first-year coach, and he's going to come out and might win a championship, so I got to give it to him.
You know, and I also got to agree with both of them. Coach Hackett will be out on top this year.
Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Hackett.
Honorable mention to Mr. Cespedes.
Yes.
I definitely think right there with the top dogs. Well, that's it for our preseason rankings. Stay tuned next week where we'll be breaking down all the matches, and we'll be giving you our picks for the week. So we'll see you next week.
There's also a lot of players that we don't mention are the underclassmen. We kind of really focus on this podcast a lot on the upperclassmen, I think, but I think now that we're going to be gone next year, there's a lot of guys that are going to really have to step up in their role, be the leader of their team, and I'm kind of interested. What do you guys think are the upcoming stars of this league, the rising stars, if you will?
I think Noah Norse is the person that he's going to dominate the next 2 years. I mean, he was so good this year. He had like 12 points a game. He made a ton of layups, got a ton of rebounds, played great defense. I mean, he had a ton of blocks this year too. I mean, he's going to be an all-star next year for sure. Maybe even an MVP season senior year.
That is a very bold take, Jake. One other person I'd like to mention from your team is Jelani. He is definitely, in my opinion, the best freshman in the league right now. He consistently dropped more than 10 points a game, which is absolutely crazy for a freshman. You never see that. Next year, he could possibly get even better, maybe even like a junior year MVP race for him. And one other player I want to mention is John Colburn, who came into this league unknown and just lit up the score sheet from week 1.
He has to be arguably one of the most athletic kids
most
in Recball.
He's so quick on the ball.
Yeah. I kind of want to mention another player is Tim Breen. He's a junior this year, he'll be a senior next year. He's been in the league for 2 years. He came off a finals appearance last year. I don't think he had his best season per se, but he definitely had a pretty overall solid appearance being an all-star and such. I want to see him really take over. He is definitely a pass-first guard. He probably was leading the league in assists with Max Dullea splashing it from the corner every time. But I think he can really step up, and on a contending team next year, he can make a big statement.
Yeah, when I heard rising stars, I thought of 2 players, Andy C. and also Will Lake. Will Lake really stepped up when Joel wasn't there. He gave everyone buckets and got his own consistently. I think he dropped 20 against us. He can create his own shot. And in rec ball, that's deadly. If you can create your own shot and you don't really need your teammates and you can be a go-getter to get your bucket, that's dangerous. And then Andy, he's a knockdown guy. I think if he can develop his shot off the dribble, he can be a lot more dangerous than he is right now, but he has a full year off. But the confidence and the Andy Sellies are definitely there. And some might say that's the most difficult part about basketball, getting the confidence that once you miss a shot, you're going to make the next one. But he definitely has that. So I'm looking for big things out of Andy next year.
Yeah, just to wrap this up, I think what's really interesting is I'm curious to see who will team up next year. That's a huge factor of who you will draft, who you team up with. And I'm not sure who will team up, but I'm really looking forward to see what the teams will be.
I think Tim Breen has got to team up with Max Dullea. I think they just
had such.
They didn't team up this year, I believe.
It was Kittredge.
Yeah, he teamed up with Kittredge.
Kittredge.
But I think Tim has got to team up with Max. I mean, they just had such good chemistry. Tim kind of playing the facilitator role, getting rebounds, making great passes, and then Max just hitting a ton of shots. I think that's a duo that needs to happen again next year.
And also on that note, Tim, you're coming off a year of coaching. Do you really want to play against Max? I wouldn't want to. I'm definitely going to be hitting his line when it comes around that time. But yeah, if I'm Tim, I'm just going to continue the chemistry that you've already grown and just work on it with your team and just try to create that supporting
Cast,
group.
yeah.
The supporting cast that can really put this team back to what we thought they could have been this year.
And AJ, I'm excited to see what you're going to do next year. I thought your game was really good this year. No one could get to the free throw line like you. You also facilitated the ball well, so I'm excited to see you play next year.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that I succeeded step 1 of getting to the line. I got to work more on the conversion. Step 2 is definitely going to take a while. But I definitely want to team up with somebody. I feel like that'd be fun to be able to draft your own team. But I don't know, keep my options open. Haven't decided anything yet.